All right, what is up? Welcome to Spoiler Kings. We have our last Alien Earth discussion because episode
We did
8,
it, guys. We
The
did
Real
it.
Monster. Yeah, it is the finale of season 1. Um, I checked earlier today and I didn't see any official announcement or any announcement for season
But
2.
people are saying it's going to definitely be a season 2.
I mean, the way it ends, there has to be, right?
Yeah, the way that it ended left it wide open
Yes.
for it.
So we'll get into that. But as of right now, I am not seeing anything about a second season. Not yet. And I would have assumed we would have got an announcement last week, if not for sure this week, to
Yeah.
get people hyped for the finale. And yeah, it was interesting.
But you had to know it was going to be a finale. I don't know if people even knew. Watching, I don't think anyone knew.
Yeah, I don't blame them. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna get into just our overall review for it. If you want a scene by scene breakdown, make sure you go check out Big Ford Entertainment. Brian was on there earlier, and those guys were going. It was Brian, Anzo, Danny. We're doing like scene by scene breakdown. But we're just gonna kind of keep it general with spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. They come back and let us know what you thought about it. But Brian, man, what you think about the finale of Alien Earth?
The xenomorphs were cool to look at. I thought that the xenomorphs were cool to look at.
I did. Yeah, like a little bit more than that.
I'm trying to think of other things. It left it left the door open to explore more and do a lot more and go bigger with it when it comes to the next season.
Mm-hmm.
I thought just like I did the previous episodes, the acting, especially for the for Wendy and the Lost Boys, whatever the hell you want to call them, was pretty good. You really believe that these are kids in adult bodies. So that was pretty good. And I wouldn't say it left me enthused about a second season, but I definitely watch a second season if it does happen.
Yeah. It leaves you interested enough where you're like, okay, I kind of want to know what goes on next.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What are you, Brian? What you think about the finale?
Overall thought, I think they did a lot of storylines that they wanted us to really want to see, and they did a terrible job of executing it. I can say that about a lot. I mean, Morrow and what's his name?
Kirsch.
Like I was sitting and waiting to see Morrow and Kirsch. I wanted to see a fight with them, and the fight that we got was terrible. I think we had a lot of things with the xenomorphs that really went unanswered. I think we had storylines just the kids grew up so effing fast. Like they went from being like 8 and 9 and 10 years old to being like 20. Like what? Like in the way that they thought their mind process went. I thought that was very strange. I don't think Boy Cavalier seemed even dumber than he did before. I think they really opened up a lot of problems between Wendy and what her points were. And I mean, in the whole episode was really more about who's the real villain. The real monsters are. So what they did is they try to make everyone look monstrous. And in doing that, I feel like they also didn't set up anything for us. All the things that they did set up, they never finished. So when the finale comes in and doesn't finish the way it's supposed to, I'm disappointed. As a show, it was fine. It was okay show. As a finale, it was terrible.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. Like as a show, I was entertained enough where I would kept coming back every week to see what happened next. But like as a finale, like I'm even like last week, I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that they gotta do in an hour. And
you know what they said? Nope.
Yeah. They're like, you get this and this, and that's it. Shut up. But like, yeah, but like it's like you said, like the kids went from like being kids to adults super quick, and I don't know. I don't know how I felt about them. I'm not Boy Cavalier is just boy dum dum in this episode because I was like, how you go from being the smartest man ever, this prodigy, and I was like, oh, you're just a moron. It's like
Exactly.
it's like what? I was like, you know,
Yeah.
so just like overall, this episode was just very much of a letdown. Like they give you little taste, like, oh, here's Morrow and Kirsch to fight. Like, oh shit, it's gonna be an awesome fight. And it seemed kind of half-assed,
Mhm.
you know.
It let me down intelligently. It let me down in a fight, like physically. I
Yeah.
mean, Kirsch is like fragile. Like what? I've seen humans go through more.
Mhm.
He gets suplexed once on a table and that's it.
I see Bills fans go through that every week and come back the next week. And you telling me you start bleeding out white stuff out of your mouth? Really? This is what's going
Break
on?
your back once.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Wendy just kind of like I don't know, like you're supposed to be like the main character, and I just felt like she just didn't. I don't know. I don't know if she couldn't carry it on her own. I was just expecting more from her, I guess. Like as a
Honestly, that's
character.
weird. I actually thought that this was the best episode. I think this is the only time I thought that she did a good job overall. But my
I wanted
problem
more
was
from her though.
but my problem was that she went from child to she even looked older. Like by the end of the episode, with in her neck and all that stuff, she looked like she was a 30-year-old woman. Like by the time we got to the end, I thought that was very strange. The way your thought process was that way too. Honestly,
Mhm.
the problem I had with her was that I exactly what I thought was going to happen. Her saying, "I'm not Wendy. I'm not who I used to be
Yeah.
either. I'm something new." I've been saying that she's going to say that for the last 3 weeks, and she said exactly that. And I was like, "Oh,
Like word for word.
damn it!"
Yeah. Because even that was like she was
So it
all we're
wasn't
not
just
kids
me who thought she looked noticeably older.
at the end. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I thought maybe it was the way she was carrying herself was different, where she felt more. I'm thinking, I'm like, is she going to consider herself like a mother almost? And at one
Not a
point I thought she was
child.
going to say
You
that.
won't. I'm not a child. I'm no longer. You don't want to let me be an adult. So
Yeah,
I'm something in between.
yeah, yeah. It's just like I said, I didn't hate the character. I think she was very black and white, with a lot of her thought process kind of stuff, like, but that's as a kid does, there's like no shades of gray, with a lot of like
Teenager.
kids. Yeah.
Teenagers think, oh, I know better
Oh,
because I know this little piece of
Mhm.
information without knowing anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
But can I ask you guys what you think about that last line? So what are you gonna do now? We're going to rule.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that?
Blatant second season or sequel bait, Dun dun dun.
Yeah, but it made it seem so incomplete though. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, are we getting a second season? Like, are we for sure? I just feel like a season finale shouldn't it should finish things and then leave it open for certain things to continue as well. It just felt like almost everything was just left open to continue. Like there wasn't many things that got resolved, and if anything, things got more crazy because I'm like for me, it's like I wanted to see what was gonna happen with the eyeball,
Mhm.
and then
And it hopped into a dead body.
a dead body. Like it's a scientist was like okay, but yeah, it was a dead body with a giant hole in it. So it was like, you know, even then I was like the boy genius. I was like, So Wendy's kind of crazy right now. So you're gonna put the eyeball in her fucking brother? I'm like, are you stupid? Like, oh, you just want her to kill you at this point, right? I'm like, that made no sense. Like her brother. That's the person you want to put it in. I'm like, come on, like that's just asking for trouble, And I thought it was gonna go in him, and they were gonna work together, and they're gonna be like mother daughter, mother, mother father
It's
in
like
a
my
weird
father.
incesty kind of way for these aliens and shit like that. That's why I'm like, oh, they're gonna go this route, but they didn't, which thank God. Yeah.
Okay, so I have two questions.
For now saying lame line.
Yeah.
Maria said I didn't like the last little bit. Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in season 2? Who could stop Wendy?
That's the thing. Who could stop her? I think season 2 is going to be less like Wendy and the Lost Boys and more Lord of the Flies. It sounds, get the setup for it. An isolated island, kids kind of uprising. I think Mark could potentially join. I think there will be some new character who kind of stands opposed to Wendy, and it'll end up being a power struggle. I feel like Wendy and her like her whole story, her whole plight is kind of being pushed to the forefront in favor of the aliens. I think she's going to continue to kind of communicate with the aliens, this psychic link or whatever you want to call it, and that's what I think. But to answer your question, I think they're going to kind of go with like a Lord of the Flies type approach.
I like that. I like that. I didn't think about that, but that kind of makes sense with where they're going with it. Especially if they want to keep it with like kids in messed up stories, like you already did Peter Pan, and Lord of the Flies would be next. I could definitely see that. But I don't know. I just, because I mean they don't exist in the future of this franchise that we know exists. So obviously at some point something's gonna happen and they're not gonna be around anymore, because like Wayland, the other company, they're the main company.
Wayland Yutani.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main company.
They're the main company. Yeah. Like they already won, as we already seen in future movies, that take place years later. So I forgot what the name of his company was. But
I don't remember.
Yeah. But even then I was like, he like my biggest disappointment was the boy Cavalier, the boy genius. Because he just was the dumbest character in this episode. Like tells all these kids that you're floor models. You're just projects for me to, do stuff. And then he tells them about his past, which I'm like,
it was like, yeah, he fell into too like generic villain territory.
Yeah. Like exactly what it was. Old villain.
It really undermined what we knew about him as a character and his methods leading up to, very smart, very strategic. Yeah. Playing chestnut checkers, always ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really kind of betrayed everything about him to that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
I'm looking at the future. I think Wendy is going to become super powerful, and no one's going to be able to defeat her because she has her own xenomorph. She also has more like eggs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Has her own army. Whatever the pod thing is. And she
controls. There's the other xenomorph running around that we haven't seen yet that busted out of the scientist guy. The eyeball, his body. It was
Or
with
the
her.
eyeball, yeah. So the eyeball.
No,
Eyeballs are someone running out. I think she's gonna be because the eyeball can't mess with her army.
no, the xenomorph that popped out of him.
Yeah,
And then
that
he
was
like,
with it. The little one was there with her xenomorph. The big one was up top, and the little one was underneath.
oh, was it there? Okay, I
Yeah.
might missed it.
So I think she has so much going on, in that she might become so powerful, and she might for either it's two things. Me and Anza talked about this with Danny. Either the other synths are going to say she's going crazy, and we need to figure out a way to depower her because she's wrong and she's doing things the wrong way, and they don't like her, so they go to Joe Hermit, her brother, and say, you need to be able to want us to stop her, slow her down.
Mhm.
You know, that's one thing.
I can see that.
Or two, someone else convinces Joe, because Joe is there to stop her. That's his only point as being a character is still there, is to be able to stop her when she gets too powerful, because he's her Achilles heel. That's the only point, the only reason to be there. Because if it's just the synths and they only care about the synths, then there's no other need, for them. There's no more room. Curly now is going to follow Wendy wherever she goes. Smee, slightly, Nibs, following Wendy wherever they go. She's going to play into their inhibitions. She's going to play into all the things that they ever wanted to do. It's going to be like the island of donkeys with Pinocchio. They can do whatever they want to do.
I like that.
So the only semi-dope person that's in that group is Hermit still. So you can play on Hermit's, we saw what he had, but he shot Nibs. So Hermit has that idea that some of these things are wrong. And I feel like that's what we're going to play on next season.
Yeah. I can see that. But what if Wendy's like, I'm not your sister anymore, and takes him out? Like that would be like
healthy. She still wants to see him be okay. So even though she keeps him at arm's length, she's still going to keep him by her.
So. Yeah, I mean, I see, I can see her taking him out, or like
she would have let him die before with the eye thing. Just could let it go inside, but she ended up saving him, and then bringing her
one of the eggs, one of her babies. It's like, oh, here, my brother is gonna do a sacrifice, not sacrifice.
She has prisoners. She has prisoners to do that. She still has Dame Sylvia. Just send her out there for one bit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think they started poking holes in their relationship, especially in this finale. Where he's like, "Oh, I won't. I have to save people." And she was like, "Oh, we're not real people to you." So I think she's starting to disconnect from him. And she goes, "I'm not, Marcy. I'm not Wendy. I'm not a kid. I'm not an adult. So it's like she's starting to disconnect with humanity in general. So
yeah,
but she didn't kick him out. So I thought that she was going to force him to leave. She could have forced him to leave, and she didn't do that. And I think that still having that part, because Wendy, or Marcy is still part of her. She's not all of any of those things. I think that he's only there as a plot device to be able to.
100%. Like he's there for her, to stop her and stuff like that. It's just, I think at some point one of them is going to push the other one, and we'll see what happens. So because he can easily say, he's like, "Oh, you're not my sister anymore. You're something else." I don't. He could do that as well.
I don't know if he's not dumb enough to say it. He could think it though, and let us know.
Well, yeah. That's the thing. He'll say it, and like the eyeball will hear it or some shit. Yeah, but overall,
what do you grade it? Is this?
I was gonna say, what would you guys give the? What would you guys give the finale? And overall, the whole season, put in there. Like, is this a now? Is this a later? Or is this a never? because like somebody like Bobby in our live chat right now, he hasn't watched this, so what would we recommend to him? Start what you think, Brad Man?
I'm kind of inclined to say later, and that's only because there were elements of the last two episodes that kind of lost me. I think the character shift with Wendy was a little jarring for me, and I get that she's technically a child in an adult's body, but it just kind of I liked where they were going with her the first 6 episodes, but 7 and 8 they kind of started to lose me. I didn't like how she basically became the xenomorph whisperer. They turned the xenomorphs into basically they turned the one xenomorph into Blue from Jurassic World, basically. um, it just which I didn't really like. I think and I hate this because Daredevil Born Again did the same thing. It became less concerned with telling its own story, its own contained story, and more than just being set up to a second season, which for all we know may or may not even happen. So it got a little tedious for me near the end. And so I'm kind of inclined to say later. And the end credits got progressively annoying for me. It was cool at first. But
With the song,
just picking some like grunge or '90s rock song out of a hat. It wore thin after a while because it didn't seem to be done for any reason other than to be like, oh, look at us, look how cool we are.
Yeah. That I gotta admit that last one didn't really feel good. It felt like, we're still doing this.
Yeah, it was kind of like I thought it was cool the first couple of times, and then it started pushing my buttons.
Okay. Real quick before we go on, Brian, she does giving it a now/later, and Maria saying skip it. Doing the never. So, all right. What you giving it, Brian?
It's a later. It's definitely not now. It's exactly what you expect from a later. So, like each episode, if you watch it individually, you would probably say somewhere between a B and a C. But when you think about formation of an entire season, it's terrible. It's not a good way to formulate a season. And they're counting on longer seasons, but this is a show that probably needs, because it's more of a slow burn, that probably needs longer season. 8 episodes is not enough to flesh out all these storylines. And they hurried up too many things, and it didn't feel any type of finale-ish at all. You have 5 more open-ended questions than you did before. So when I really break it down, I'm start looking at it, I wasn't impressed in the season that much to the point I'm going to say it's a later.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm probably gonna give it a later as well, because I think the best time to watch this would be like a week before the second season comes out, because I feel like it was a fun enough season. Like Brian said, each episode was pretty fun as a whole season. Like there are some issues where you're like, I would have put this episode here. This didn't quite make sense. You didn't answer this yet. So for me, by the end, you're like, oh shit, I have to wait a while for season 2 to see what even happens. I would watch this right before season 2 drops, and then jump on board with season 2, and hopefully they don't do the same issues, with dragging out certain storylines. They're like, oh hey, you really love this character, like, oh yeah, he's awesome, the little eyeball, we love it. It's like, and nothing's ever gonna happen. You're like, cool, I just feel so, I don't know, like wasting my time caring about this little character. So yeah, so there you go, 3 laters. It just wasn't doing it. But someone like Sheet is saying he's in the minority on this one. He goes, he enjoyed the series so far.
Okay.
Yeah. So the little one is the one that came out to the scientist.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
sitting there on top of the thing, the jail on the outside, and we
On the
said we're going to
outside, yeah.
roll. It was in there. Yeah.
Okay. I might have missed it because by then I was like rolling my eyes. I was like,
Exactly. How hard could I roll my eyes?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, oh man, but yeah. So that's our thoughts for this season finale and the overall season 1 of Alien Earth. If you've seen it, let us know. Leave a comment down below. Tell us what you thought about the finale. What about the whole show so far, or by now. Leave a comment. Let us know. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna keep doing other show reviews like this, other fun nerdy stuff as well. But we appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us in the live chat. We want you guys to stick around because we're gonna move on to our next topic for the night.